All right, we did it. Easy peasy. 1, 2, 3. I just have to back up a little bit. Is my chair low? Oh God, now I have to look at my bed. It's not bad. I make my bed every morning. I can't give a shit about a bed. Anyway, I wanted to talk about something really quickly because I just feel like talking shit. And honestly, the reason why I didn't talk about it is because I don't want to be controversial, but I feel like talking about shit that's gonna make you cry. It's gonna make you be like, I might be completely wrong. I might be completely right. I might be doing too much. I might not be. But I don't give a fuck. I'm getting all my stuff together. All right, well. Today was a good day. It is, what time is it? 6:44, God's time. Talk about it. And it's a good day. I'm sitting here with my enchantment. I love me. She's cute. She's wild right now. She's like burning on one side. One side is up, one side is like completely burned down. It's crazy. I'm literally just studying her. That's it. I mean, there's nothing else I can do about it. Just enjoy her for what she is right now. Whatever. Neither here nor there. The most important and the least important, because nothing matters and everything matters. Anyway, so what I want to talk about, and this is what I made a video. I made a video yesterday, and I talked about this in my previous video, which you go check out. I don't have no idea how to link it to this video, so you're just gonna have to go find it. But I talked about it because I started talking about why I started how I got into making my goddess enchantment. I started out with my ascension candle, which I didn't show before, but I'll show it now. It out the jar because I use the same jar over and over for my personal enchantment so I can keep studying them. So there's like wax everywhere. Put this wax in your bucket. Since you want to act up, sis, you could just get to be the test dummy for everything. So this is the ascension candle. This is the end of it. Oh my god, relax. Wax. That broke. I took it out the jar. And look how beautiful that is. Like, even, you can't even fucking see. I wish that I was tech savvy because this phone thing is killing me. It's not even clear or whatever. I use twigs. I use a bunch of different herbs to make it like feel like nature and like connected to nature. And look how it burns. Just burns so beautiful. Look at the layers. And it's just like, that's exactly what happened when I had this going. I was just learning about who I was, where I come from, who I am as a woman, as a black woman, just anything and everything, pretty much. But I did that, and then that's when at the end of this I said, what are the next candles I'm going to work on for my goddessy collection? I wanted to do the love one and I wanted to do the goddess one, but I ended up saying to myself, the goddess one fits perfectly right now because I'm high off of feminine energy and understanding of self and power of womanhood and feminineness. And so in that I started to, I don't know how I came about this, but it was something that honestly it's a truth that came to my mind. I wish I could talk about the story behind it, because I like when I can remember why I got to a place. Like I usually can remember it very, really well, but for some reason I can't remember this. It don't matter to me anyway. So I started to look at the Bible. If you care about the Bible, I suggest that you stop watching right now. If you're up for a debate and topic and, you know, talking, keep watching because it's fun, it's interesting. I wish this was interactive, but it's just me talking honestly to myself right now, virtually talking to you, because eventually you will be watching it. But that is another part of the matrix that I don't feel like talking about right now, but I will soon. So the Bible, I have a Bible. This is my Bible, beautiful Bible. I bought it for myself a few years ago, like probably like 5-6 years ago. I bought it for myself. I find letters in here that I wrote myself, and this was like, I found a letter that I put it on my wall up there. You can't see it. That I wrote to myself 2014. I'm like, Kayla, you are just the greatest. You always knew yourself. But so I'm looking at this Bible, and in my mind, I wasn't even looking at the time, but in my mind I said, this Bible is just so masculine. Like it's like the essence of masculine energy is this Bible. Even when you think about the concept of God, when you think about God, when you say God to yourself, or I say God right now, and the first thing that comes to your mind is most likely a masculine figure. Most likely. Like we associate Jesus and God, like we have this understanding of Jesus being like a white man. Forget about what you have forget about what you have learned for yourself as an awoken, enlightened being. Like forget about that part. The part of where we grew up knowing that Jesus was a white man with curly hair, and everybody had Jesus' picture in their home, and Jesus was this and Jesus was that. You associate God with Jesus and Lord with God and Jesus, and the image that most likely will come to your mind is a white person. There is no shame, because this is what we've conditioned to believe. There is no way that you can say that it's not an agenda for us to believe that Jesus was white. It was a fucking agenda. Duh. But whatever. So you have this condition in your mind. Every time you think of God, every time you think of Jesus, think of a white person. Okay? Or a person that, you know, they look like how they look in where Jesus was in Israel and in, you know, in the Middle East area is what they say they look like. Dark skin, it just did not exist. I don't know. Like it just was, we just came out of nowhere pretty much. That's what it seems like. So I'm thinking to myself, okay, of all the verses of this chapters I say of this Bible, a lot of it is masculine. Luke, Romans, and I'm not even saying it in terms of like masculine names, but masculine words. There are masculine and feminine words like Mark and Luke and Romans. Let's see, I'm looking at Psalm, Job, Ezra, Kings, Samuel, Judges, Joshua, Deuteronomy. I hope I said that right. Numbers, Deuteronomy, Numbers, Leviticus. Like all those words are masculine in essence. Exodus, those are masculine words. And behind every prophet story, Moses and Noah and Cain and Abel and Solomon and Goliath and David and Goliath, all men, all masculine energy, having a backstory to who they are, having understanding of who they are as men, what they're supposed to be doing, how they're supposed to be providing. No feminine woman energy. There is not one verse, chapter in this book, I'm not gonna say verse, chapter in this book that is named has a feminine energetic name and essence to it. There's nothing that I can turn to in this Bible and say, oh God, I was talking to women here completely through, 100% through. We have a few pages. No, we have a couple of verses that we talk, and the verses that talk about how we are supposed to behave and who we're supposed to be in relation to our husband. Like not in a sense of self. Like we have to obey and submit and present ourselves to honor the image of God and husband. Like it's never for the freedom of self. Never. Man, yes, man could go to war. Man can have fights with his brother. Man can have all these wives. Man can have all these children. Man can chop each other's heads off. They can do whatever they want. Women do not. We don't do. There's a few verses that I would love to read. If you think I'm crazy, I'm gonna find them. Because I started to Google a little bit. Oh, that was quick. I started to Google a little bit some verses that have women in them so I could just jump to them when I look in the Bible. I didn't get to do a lot of studying because I honestly just want to do this video and get over with. I just want to talk about this because I'm just like over all of this. You know what I'm saying? 1 Timothy 2:9. And 1 Timothy 2:9, second paragraph, verse 9. I don't know what they call it. It said, in the same way, I want women to enhance their appearance with clothing that is modest and sensible, not with elaborate hairstyles, gold, pearls, or expensive clothes. They should not make themselves attractive by doing good, which is appropriate for women who claim to honor God. Oh, they should make themselves attractive by doing good, which is appropriate for women who claim to honor God. They should make themselves attractive. A wife should learn quietly with complete submission. I don't allow a wife to teach or to control her husband. Instead, she should be a quiet listener. Adam was formed first and then Eve. We can talk about that in a second. Adam wasn't deceived, but rather his wife. We're going to talk about it right now. We don't have to talk about that in a second. That was 1 Timothy 2:9 through 15. But a wife will be brought safely through giving birth to their children if they both attain in faith, love, and holiness together with self-control. Self-control. But whatever. The whole concept, and I've learned this recently, and I'm enjoying the shit out of this because I'm on a whole understanding of, like I said, feminine power and womanhood, and being a black woman is probably the most divine of them all. And I'm not shitting anybody. I just want to record this video. Is still recording? Yeah. I'll call it back. The fact of Adam was formed first and then Eve. There's a whole story. I'm gonna call it a story because the Bible is literally just a story. Like, nobody has any proven facts about nothing in here. There's nothing factual about the Bible. It's all for faith and it's up for a lot of interpretation. Let's be fucking real. You can read, my Bible is simple English. You can read another Bible and have different words in it and completely get a different meaning from it because of who you are, your experience and your circumstances, and what you perceive yourself, and what your knowledge and expansion of mind that you have to understand what's written in this book. The Bible is up for debate. The only two things in this life that are true is love and death. Those are the only two things that are most pure and true, and through and through is love and death. Everything else is up for debate. So a Bible falls under that. Let's keep it real. Adam and Eve, to say it, supposedly Eve was born out of Adam's rib, right? But there's a whole story about Adam having a first wife. Now, there are a million stories out there about everything in this world, and they can come from evil. They can, and the story of Lilith and her being Adam's first wife can literally be a made up story, just like everything else. But it's also it's one of those things that you have to take into account, because there's a lot of energy that's surrounding it. Same way the Bible is important too. There's energy surrounding it, and that you take it into account. I can read this Bible and get a lot of lessons from this. I've done it a million times. I do it all the time. Read this Bible and I get valuable lessons from this. Utilizing this as a tool to educate yourself, and every other story out there in this world to educate yourself, not just reading one text and thinking that that's the whole truth. Lilith, they say, was born out of the same dirt and mud and muck that Adam was born out of, so they were literally equal. She knew this, and they fought about this because he wanted her to be submissive, which is strange to me that he has this concept of submissiveness being created from the all-knowing, all-being, all-loving God. How do you get this concept of submissiveness? And where does this concept come from? And even past the Lilith story, where does this concept come from of submissiveness for your wife? Why does she have to submit to you? What is that about? Why? You want her to be obedient. You want her to listen to you. That's why. You want her to not say nothing when you do what you want to do. And I'm not talking about stupid human shit like having sex with other women. That's so ignorant and so like small-minded. So think about. I'm talking about massively that these men are innovators and that they travel this world and they conquer and they expand their wealth. And the woman cannot. That to me is out of this world, and that's only because the Bible says that women have come from Adam, and Adam is she's submissive to him. That's the only reason why. But here's Lilith being his first wife, being the woman who's saying that we're equal and this is not going to fly. I'm not going to be submitting to you. I'm not going to be obedient to you. We are equal. God made us in the sameness, and that says, and they say that in Genesis 1:27. And this is why I say reading it is important, and like looking at it is important. 1:27 says after like, let's say 1:24, God made livestock, he made wildlife, he did everything that he had to do in terms of like populating and giving life to the earth that he has created. And then 1:27 says God created humanity in God's own image. In the divine image God created them, male and female. God created them. And then God blessed them and told them what to do of the earth, and don't eat the fruit from that tree of knowledge. The serpent comes in and tells Lilith that the tree, and Eve, both of us, pretty much, that the tree is of knowledge and not to eat the fruit. Now, the part that I need to find more information on, research on, is what made Lilith, what killed her off and banished her, and for God to create Eve. That's one thing I want to look into, because it says that he created them. He never said nothing about Eve being created from his rib. Not in that part, and that's one of the first parts. He created them, male and female, both of them. After he created light and everything. I have to read more. But that's equalness. We are both the same. We are of the sameness. We are of the same God, the same divinity. We are created in the same time, in the same. It's not this and then this. It's this. And this is like a flow of like equal neutrality. This is what we were created at. And you're telling me that I have to be submissive to you, and why? What is it that about my mind and my freedom that you don't want me to express and be of? That's a fucking good question. And why this whole Bible has different names, has all these names with masculine energy behind them. Luke could be a woman, but Luke, in what world is Luke a masculine word? When you think about masculinity and femininity, masculine is straight lines and angles. That's the role of man. If you want to think about a true alpha, the essence of a man, a powerful man, is that he is straightforward, he is providing, he is protecting, he goes to war. This is the essence of a man. The woman, femininity, is swirls and curves. She flows with you, and this is woman. And this is why, and I used to tell this to people all the time. They used to always ask me, why you only paint women? Why you only draw women? I'm like, I love the way women look. I love how I look. I love that we are so soft. Like the lines of our face are so smooth. The lines of our neck, the lines on us are so smooth and so beautiful. And it's true. And the same thing with men. They have rigidness. You are. Like, you are it. You look at yourself, go in the mirror right now and look at yourself as a man or a woman, and look at the beauty of your body. I'm not even talking about the mind at this point. I'm talking about just the straight body, that you know that you are made in this essence of masculinity, femininity, of black and white, of love and hate, of dark and light. Like, there's a balance of everything. And for the balance to continue, man and female has to be being at the same time. This is what the Bible is doing. It's telling you that there's an imbalance already because Eve, because the story is that Eve came from Adam. That's already an imbalance, and that the whole Bible creates imbalance because it makes women weaker and lesser. Throughout the Bible, there's no stories of if we talk about the descendants of Jacob and his children, it is not the woman who created these children with him. It's not her story, it's his story. These are his children. I remember reading stuff like that where it's just like Jacob's wife is this name and they have these children, or I don't even know what it says exactly. I remember seeing that all these children that they have being listed and documented by name and by town and province and things like that. But that stuff is important to think about. What was I saying? The image. So Lilith being the first one before Eve, but she was more intelligent and rebellious and had better character than man, because let's talk about it. To be a woman and to be free is probably the worst thing that anybody could ever. They think it's the worst thing that they could ever see. Like if you walking around and you are who you are, and I'm saying this, and it's the last point that I made because I only have 5 minutes left. When you are who you are as a woman, and you do what the fuck you want, and you wear clothes the way that you want, and you live your life the way that you want, you do what you want with your body, and you don't let nobody play with your time, and you make your own money, and you have your own dreams, and you have your own freedom and innovation of mind and genius, people do not like that. Especially men. There are some women out there who be hating and shit. There's always gonna be a fucking hater. But men don't like it when you walk into a room and you can captivate. They don't. Men can get very jealous and very upset. And we all know this to be true. And I'm talking to you two men, whoever watches this, it's true. You don't like it. You can get a little salty, and there's some men who are progressed past it. They love to see a woman come into a room. They love being captivated by a woman, of course. But you walk into a room and a woman is supposed to captivate them. I'm supposed to walk in there with her light and her beauty and her divinity and just be beautiful. Always be beautiful. Always feel beautiful. Always walk down the street with conviction and beauty as a woman. The story of Lilith, you can Google her right now and it'll come up that she's a demon. But of course they're going to say that she's a demon because she didn't listen. She did what she wanted. You're going to tell me I can't eat from the tree of knowledge? I am the descendant of Lilith. I already know. I don't want to hear nobody's shit. I'm open to interpretations and ideologies and hearing everything. I'm open to it. I'm open to being in love with anybody. But the freedom of self, mind, most important. And nobody's going to take that away from me. This video, I'm going to end this video now. The things I talked about, you can look it up and see what you think about it. I gave you 2 Bible verses. I would say 1 Timothy 2:9 through 15, Genesis 1:27, 3:16 and 3:17. But I don't have no time. I'm so upset. Maybe I'll do part 2 another day when I feel like being nasty. But please, the whole point of me making these videos is just to talk about shit that we need to talk about. I honestly probably am going to make a video a day about all the shit that I want to talk about that's going to make people upset. I don't care. I love it. This is how you get people to open their minds, is to disrupt their shit and make them feel uncomfortable as fuck.